Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Gold and silver coin production versus debt growth during 2 U.S. presidencies. Let's explore! That's right. We know one thing's for sure, and who's going to win this competition between debt growth and gold and silver coin production measured in dollars with this infographic that comes to us from visualcapitalist.com. But before we get into this, if you press that little button down below that has the thumbs up or thumbs down button, it would be greatly appreciated. If you're on a mobile device, it might turn white. If you're on a desktop, it might turn blue. Blue or white, it matters not. It does help the algorithm get the word out on this video, so certainly do appreciate it. Imagine if we had one thumb up for every view of this video. It'd be pretty fascinating. So moving into this infographic, this is brand new, very interesting data here. This should give you a little bit of a perspective about how gold and silver compare to the growth of the national debt here. Precious metals can't be produced out of thin air, as we know. The U.S. debt, however, can be financed through central bank money creation, which is a fancy term for quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is that fancy term for bank money creation. In fact, debt has skyrocketed in recent years. How has the value of gold and silver coin production compared to the rise of public debt during past presidencies? And we're looking at Obama compared to Trump. And the data here we're going to look at, and we can see in the footnotes that the gold and silver, based on the average closing prices for each year that is logged in here. So we're taking a valuation, of course, between 2009 and 2012. We saw very high prices for gold and silver, especially silver. But let's take a look at this. U.S. silver coins minted. Now, it doesn't tell us exactly if this includes like commemorative coins, which are going to be very few compared to the amount of bullion coins minted each year. But let's take into account all of them together, and just to assume, for the sake of the numbers themselves, but that's $3.7 billion worth of U.S. silver coins minted each year, keeping in mind that that's the average, based on the average spot price for each year, 2009, 10, 11, and 12. For gold coins, it's almost double that, $6.7 billion worth. It's a lot of money in gold coins for sure. And then when you take a look at Obama's second term, it's less, slightly less silver, but we can see the spot prices for those went down, and some of the mintages may have gone down too. And then gold is down well over $1 billion, but it's $5.1 billion. For Trump's first term here, 2017 through 2020, U.S. silver coins minted at $1.4 billion. Now, silver took a pretty big hit from those years, very undervalued. But gold was substantially less as well in terms of the spot price. Gold and silver coin production dropped during each consecutive term. And so that as well, so the number of coins produced as well as the price of gold and silver are to play in those numbers there. And keep in mind, this is what I always say, when the prices are low, people aren't as excited about gold and silver, especially silver during this term between 2017 and 2020. So during Obama's first term in debt, the U.S. Public debt added $5.2 trillion. Wow. And then in the second term, they added $2.9 trillion. This is quantitative easing during this time. But when you look at Trump's first term, we have added $6.6 trillion in the term so far. The value of new U.S. debt is almost 1,600 times higher than the value of U.S. minted gold and silver coins combined. And most of this is COVID related debt there. So that is what is participating in the massive increase. And my guess is it's going to continue to rise as we look down here. Here is how much U.S. public debt was issued per each ounce of minted gold coin. Obama's first term, 1 million. And then in the second term, 700,000 for each ounce of minted gold. Trump's term, as of October the 26th, 2020, $3.5 million per each minted gold coin. Wow. 3.5 million gold coin there. Very interesting. Debt saw a market increase in Obama's first term and Trump's term in response to the global financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. Both of those are closely related. Looking forward, the U.S. public debt is expected to continue its upward trajectory. So the U.S. public debt over time, as of the fiscal year end, which is September 30th of each year, is here we see the U.S. public debt, $9 trillion in 2010, 2015, 13.1, 2020, 21.1, over double the debt, for coming into this projection up, this is expected to continue upward. By 2030, public debt is expected to reach 109% of U.S. GDP. So we can see $33.5 trillion. And it's just something else. This is from the Congressional Budget Office. It's just going to keep climbing, folks. This is why we hold gold and silver for sure. So how could debt growth differ under Trump or Biden? The deficit impact of campaign plans. If you look at what they're talking about for spending for both candidates, they both want to spend. Make no mistake. 21 to 2030, including policies related to COVID-19. The low cost estimate is $0.7 trillion for Trump, and this is only negative for Biden, which I really don't understand there what that is. Central estimate means that Biden is going to spend more, but Trump's going to spend as well, but a little bit less. And then the high cost estimate is going to be a considerable amount more for Biden and somewhat less for Trump there. Both candidates' plan will likely raise national debt by trillions of dollars, even without accounting for COVID-19 related policies. I will say this, Trump has been known to have some surprises up his sleeve, and there has been talk about Trump getting involved in the second term with potentially pushing for a gold standard and revaluing the dollar and preserving the sovereignty of the dollar, and maybe there'll be some sort of action that Trump may take to strengthen the dollar in a way that we're not thinking about, or potentially to even inject gold into some sort of standard. We shall see that, or to there's been talk about how the Treasury is getting involved with the Federal Reserve System. There's been talk about that in the past as well too. While gold and silver coin production has declined during recent presidential terms, U.S. debt continues to climb to historically high levels, and that's really the overall message in this infographic sponsored by Texas Precious Metals. Interesting data for sure, and it does give you an idea of what is going on. And like I've always said, when you hold precious metals in your hand, they do not change. They are what they are. The price may go down. As of the recording of this video, we've seen a fairly substantial dip in silver especially. And it is enough to, at many times when you make a purchase of silver coins, you want them to preserve their value. But you have to look at the value compared to the price. Sometimes you got to look beyond, and that's what value is. Value is a look beyond the price. And it is, and especially the volatility of the metals, both metals have been lately, but especially silver, it's one of the things you have to hold it for a long time, and you have to make purchases in a very smart way, and to be able to work it all out and average out, because you're not going to get rich stacking silver, but you are going to empower yourself to preserve your wealth if you do it the right way. And that's really what it's about. Now, I will just say, for as someone of experience, I have a different approach to silver than most people out there. My approach to silver is not to preserve wealth by any stretch. I've mainly accumulated for the designs and for collecting. But there is a way to stack, and I've done this. I've practiced this enough during my time as a collector to be able to, with experience, say that I've stacked and being able to come out even. That's where you break even with silver. You're not gonna get rich off of silver, but gold definitely performs better. It is the more stable of the two metals. And that's why I believe in having both, especially when you look at these numbers here. Gold and silver coins minted dollar-wise here. So I hope you found this video insightful and interesting. Very fascinating. I love these infographics, the way they're put together. Always enjoy doing videos on these. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.